Very good afternoon from Sydney Harbour for race 6 of the Club Championship for the 18-foot skiffs. Hello, on behalf of Sail Media, I'm Peter Shipwayne with Dolly DeVola and Jimmy Bury and our cameraman team and production team. We say good afternoon to you, and we've got some wind, but it's going to be a tricky day, I think. The forecasts are varying from what we're going to get. Skiffs are dicing between number 1 and number 2 rigs. So to tell you all about it and unravel it all, good afternoon to you, Dolly. I'll throw you straight under the bus. What are we going to get?
Afternoon, Shippo. Afternoon, viewers. Well, right now, we've got north to northeast, northwest on the main harbour, but out in Western Sydney, we've got 25 knots out of the west. At some point, that should get to us, but the two breezes at some point will also fight each other. So it's certainly going to be a very, very tricky afternoon. I was in the boat park for the last sort of 40 minutes or so, and a number of the sailors were having a chat to me and asking what I thought they should do. And I said to them, well, at some point, whatever rig you put in, it'll be right, and at some point it'll be wrong. But the object of the day is to finish. So a number of them did change to the small rig, but we did have, at that point in time at least, a majority of big rigs in the park, and we're just looking at the boats launching now, and it would appear there's a bit of a mix. Notables that had gone for the smaller rig early was Rag and Famish, and I know that Club Marine were considering it. Beck Hancock had certainly done the switch to the little. And I had a long conversation with the Vycobi boys. They were really tossing up. They did bring the little rig over to the boat, but at the time I left the park, they hadn't changed as yet. But we'll see when the boats come out on the water. We'll let you know what they have on. But, yeah, look, the starter's going to have a tough time setting a course because this breeze is certainly going to be switching around. It's going to be very shifty. We do have an incoming tide, but it's not a big tide, so we shouldn't see much effect of that. But, yeah, we'll just have to stand by and see what this breeze does, Shippo. The flags on the bridge are starting to rotate around, so the flags on the bridge are a long way left of the current breeze that we have on the harbour right now, which is basically a northerly.
Well, thank you, Dolly. For those unfamiliar with the Sydney scene, that's the 18-footer clubhouse and the boat park. And as Dol said, they're just launching now to come out to the starting area. We're still about half an hour away from the start on the harbour as the course is being set, but will it stay that way? Let's ask Jimmy Bury his thoughts. Good afternoon to you, Jimmy.
Afternoon, Pete. Afternoon, viewers. Yeah, they've elected with course 1 being the northeast course at the moment. And fingers crossed it stays there. It's a pretty decent little breeze, as Dolly alluded to. The harbour's clearing out of traffic, which should make for an exciting time. We've just got a little crossover with the 12-footers for their state titles. But yeah, if it stays where it is in the north-northeast, I think we'll get away on course number 1 being the northeast course, Pete.
The moment about 12 knots out of the north-northeast, but as Dolly and Jimmy were saying, still a lot of tricks to play out, we would expect. But let's go through some changes, some rather significant today. On the Shore and Partners, Keegan York away sailing in the 16-foot skiffs down at Botany Bay in their state championship. John Harris comes aboard again. He sails quite successfully a couple of weeks ago in the Shore and Partners with George Morton and Tom Anderson. Yandu Mika Lane is back steering as he did last week with Charlie Wyatt and Lewis Brake. Tom Needham away on sail GP duties in Dubai. And Fang Warren learning the joys of fatherhood. He's off duty today, and Charlie Wyatt comes in as a very able replacement. Killer Coffee, Steve Thomas is steering the Killer Coffee. Jordan Gertis back on his old boat of the Fisher Paykel, standing in for Brett Van Munster. And I think that's about the major changes in the steering department. And
significant change.
On the sixth, of course. I was saving the best till last, and I forgot him. How could I forget Michael Coxon? He, former JJ champion, he will be sailing the 6 today in place of Jacob Marks, who's away on Sail Melbourne duties, sailing the 49ers down there. So good to see Coco back. He'll be joined by Alex Marinelli and Matt Doyle. So today we're, as I said, the 6th heat of the club championship. The race day partner is Rag and Famish, and we're racing today for the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy. And while we're talking about the club championship, I've had 5 races so far, which makes sense. If today is the 6th race, we might just have a look at the point score, and there it is. Yandu leading on 20 points, Balmain 25, Rag and Famish 26, equal with 6th. Then Lazarus, Smeg, Club Marine, Shore and Partners, Ballard Properties, Fisher Paykel round up the top 10. But Yandu, a nice little comfortable lead after 5 races. So last week we saw some interesting racing in that Light Eastleigh, Dole, didn't we? We got 2 races in. The day really belonged to Balmain. Henry Larkin's first victory in the first race and then 3rd in the second race to cap off a really good performance. But the second race produced a really outstanding victory for Emma Rankin and the Club Marine team of Brandon Bynick and Alex, who started with them last week? Help me
Aaron
there.
Everett.
Aaron Everett. Thank you, Jimmy.
That's right.
Yep. He's not there today. Jed Crookshank comes aboard. But Emma won a thrilling second race in very light conditions. And as we said, she was the second girl to win a race for club championship points, but the first to win a state championship heat. So she was absolutely delighted after the race, and well, she should have been. But today, it's a different day for sure. The breeze at the moment, it's about, 10 to 11 knots here at the starting area in Double Bay. The skiff's starting to come out. There's looking back towards Bradley's Head and said, see this 12-foot skiffs, as Jimmy mentioned, just get underway for their heat this afternoon of their state titles. So, Dole, what after yesterday, well, boy, if you were in Sydney, you got blown away, I'm sure, almost to New Zealand. It was a fresh old westerly. I was out in the harbour early and we saw 35, 38 knots and a breeze was coming out of the west. But you guys were down at Botany Bay, a big open expanse of water for the state titles for the 16s. That would have been thrilling down there, I'm sure.
Yeah, Sail Media were down at St George 16-foot skiff sailing club covering the third day of the 16-foot skiff and 13-foot skiff state championships. It was very fresh down there, and I'm sure some of you probably tuned in and watched. The 13-foot skiffs were held on shore and didn't race, but the 16-footers went out, and it was certainly a sensational day of racing. And I think we probably peaked well north of 30 knots while we were racing, and then the boats finished, and just as we finished, it swung further left to the southwest and just peaked at a little couple of gusts of 39 knot shippo as the boats were trying to make their way back to the club. So there was quite a bit of damage done down there, but it was shades to water. Olympian Tom Burton, Olympic gold medalist Tom Burton, representing the Belmont Club, who took the win for the day. And just in the overall point score, they're finishing up today with 2 races. Overall point score, we had Imey, Imagine, Shade to Water, Red Pumps, and Sarah Lee in Bosca filling the top 5 positions. So they'll be fighting it out today. Hopefully they're having some good racing down there today. So good luck to all of them. But some news from today, Shippo. I believe it was the AGM at the club this morning. Is that right?
At the 18-footer club,
At
yes.
the 18-footer club. So, we've got news that Peter Shipway has been made a life member of the 18-footers. So big congratulations to you, Shippo, for that honour, which is not bestowed on many. So given to you for your services to the club, and also to David Bailey, who's been very active at the club over a long period of time. So congratulations to you both. Does that mean you get free beers?
I don't know, Dole, but anyway, thank you very much. Yes, I was very thrilled to receive the nomination, and receive it today at the club. But as an honour, but something you don't expect or don't really wish for, but when it happens, it is very, very nice. So thank you for your comments, and thank you to the membership of the 18-footer club as well. It's very, very well received and a great honour. Thank you.
Very much deserved, Shippo.
Thank you, thank you. So we've got all our viewers are back on the Sale Media stream. We thank them for their continued support. We've got Yankee Express. He said great pitch pole footage of last week on the with Sevi Jarvan, the multiple JJ winner, doing in light winds. You wouldn't think anyone had capsized, let alone a man of Sevi's capabilities. But he went base over apex, and on the first run went in the lead. So you might have seen that in the opening footage. So we're just looking at Yandu going upwind in streaky sort of conditions there. Who we got there? We've got Ian Barnard, John McNulty's there. Some comments there that I thought were very appropriate. I'll just get to them in a moment. But hello from Blue Point, New York. Looking forward to the winter 49er practice. That's from Ward Brooks. Real 2 gone. Thanks, Ian. Thank you. Greetings from Auckland. Hi from Fishing Point, Lake Macquarie. Got a 15-knot southeaster up there from Chris Keevers. Yeah, here it is from Mick Ralph. We miss Kilo. Yeah, we sure do.
Everyone misses Kilo.
He was a great character and enjoyed a cold beer and a hot day, but he nicknamed the Dardanelles, the area between Point Piper and Shark Island. I think every time we go up there, we think of Kilo. He was taken from us far too young, and but some great memories, and made a great contribution to this scene here on the harbour, bringing these pictures to you, and it's just developed from them. So we do remember you fondly, Kilo. The Yankee Express, Ian Barnard, Super Merlin TV, hello from the UK, hello to you. So thank you again, as we can't say it enough, for your continued support of this Sale Media coverage. And we're still about 20 minutes away, but it's still in the nor-nor'east, Dol, isn't it? Plenty of wind.
We're getting about 17 knots up at the Wedding Cake, so further up the harbour. Starting to fill in down here. So, you know, that's starting to get real top end on the big rig. So, yeah, we'll just have to see how that pans out. The flags on the bridge are still looking side on to where we are. So, different breeze on the bridge to what we've got on the harbour right now, but it's certainly built a little bit, and as this cloud comes over and dims the light, it makes it look a little bit windier than it is. But boats we can see bit far off there now, but boats with big rig on seem to be managing okay at the moment, just starting to go inside out at times on their mainsail. There's Beck Hancock now on the Ballard property. She elected to go small rig, so that's the little rig. Up the harbour a bit, I think I can see Rag and Famish look like they've got the small rig in. So there's certainly going to be a mix, and as I mentioned before, someone's going to be right and someone's going to be wrong at any given time, at some time throughout this race. Jimmy talking about the course, you know, if the breeze does switch around, the number one course isn't a bad one, because you'll have kind of a beat in one direction or the other, even if the breeze switches entirely round to the west. I'll keep monitoring the directions, but out in the west. So at the moment, for those at home, we've got about 17 knots on the main harbour up towards the Beashel Buoy, and west of us here, even as close as Olympic Park, the breeze is around in the west and building. So what tends to happen is when those two breezes meet, the breeze will drop off, and then one of them will win, and it'll probably be the westerly. So that's us on the mighty Camera Cat, the Sale Media Camera Cat. Many of you actually haven't seen us. The boys out the back giving us a wave. That's Piers, our drone pilot, and there's Sam. So you can see the camera mounted on the roof. So that James's boat is how we bring you these images, which is fantastic.
So sorry, Dol, just to confirm what you were saying, we've got just the Western Channel pile light. It's got east nor'east up there. That's up halfway or 2/3 the way up the beat. They've got 15 knots with gusting 17. That reading was at 2 p.m. Sydney time, which was about half an hour ago. So there we go. And just getting some... There we go. There's our team there.
There's the red anchor in memory of Kilo. And Kilo's name's there on the bow.
Yeah,
so
lovely.
He's always riding with us.
Always with us, yep.
Yeah, and he would have been his birthday on the 4th of December. He would have been 79. I'm getting good information there from a very good source in Kerry Winning. So thank you, Kerry. And we miss your husband out here. He's not sailing. Someone's asking, would he be sailing the Yandu at any time? I don't think it's planned for the immediate future, but knowing Woody, who knows? Something might happen dramatically and he gets out there. But at the moment, Nick Lane is sailing, and no Andu today. Andu is not sailing. And there's Michael Coxon on the 6th. Make a nice cameo appearance. Looks pretty tidy going upwind. Plenty of wind there, Dol.
Yeah, that's starting to get towards the top end of the big rig, that's for sure. And yeah, the other thing for sure is Michael Coxon will be just fine stepping onto an 18-footer. He'll just step back on like he was on there yesterday. No problems at all.
No commentator's curse there, Dol.
No, but interesting though, Shippo. You know, you were talking about Emma last weekend. I in the preamble I said she was a good pick for the day, and she not only did she win, but she dodged the commentator's curse. So
I'll have to go back and have a look at that. I don't know whether that's right. You're just making that up, Dol.
Last weekend I mentioned Balmain and Emma Rankin. Eh? So,
well, you're a genius. Okay, have a go today.
It's the reverse curse.
Have a go today.
The reverse curse.
I'll put you right under pressure.
Who should I put the mocker on today? I'll say Cocko's going to go pretty well in the 6th.
Okay, all right.
There you go. Sorry, Cocko.
We'll keep your eye on that, viewers. Yeah. But there's the old Royale, the ferry that we've known for many, many years, is back as the spectator ferry. And I think, is that going to be permanent, Jimmy?
Yeah, it is a permanent move. They've robbed the skipper of that, actually retired, and then when he heard they got the 18 contract back, come out of retirement, and he's jumped up back in the wheelhouse of the mighty Royale.
I saw him come out and say good day, and I can see Beck Hancock's parents are up there, and sail designer to the stars, Michael Carter, on the bottom deck there. Flipper, he's gazing out at the wind conditions.
Is he looking the right way, though?
Trying
Flipper?
to summon...
Is he looking...
Trying to summon some magic from the breeze, perhaps. But
well, it's become quite holy up here. That's not a religious term. It's just holes, as in the wind. There's some big voids and some puffs coming down the harbour. But boy, there was windy yesterday. But today's today, and we're back in the north-northeast or even east-northeast. So we're on the number 1 course, and we're still a few minutes away from starting signals. It's just after 2:30 Sydney time, and we've got about 11 or 12 minutes ago to start. There's the committee vessel with our race officer today, Greg Dixon. Well done to you, Greg. And, it's a hooter coming off the committee boat. As we look at Balmain, the team of last week, with a 1st and a 3rd. Tom Grimes is back, and Charlie Gundy also comes aboard this week for crew for Henry Larkins.
Been on a bit of a roll, the Balmain boys, of late. So, really showing some speed and some smarts on the race course. So, hopefully they can keep that run of good sailing going.
There's the Rag and Famish, Ben Crawford, Ryan Ewings and Max Nern. Ooh, just getting through that tack. I think Dave Witt was giving them a bit of advice this morning, wasn't he, Dol?
He was, yep. And he'd also got a weather forecast for them from Roger Clouds Badham, so you can pretty much guarantee that'll be a pretty good weather forecast. But because of that, they elected to go the small rig. They are expecting some breeze, so it's just when that breeze gets here. But yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, we are expecting a shift to the west at some point. It's just a matter of when it gets here. But it is in Western Sydney right now. It'll be on its way. Which, shippers, you were talking about how it's starting to get a bit gusty and patchy. that might be a bit of
Sign.
influence. These clouds, the high clouds, are moving west to east. So it will get here at some point. Whether it'll get here before the race finishes will be another point. Ash Rookland there on the Smeg. They've got the big rig in. They were debating.
They were. I saw Ash's dad, Warwick, in the park. He was looking anxiously at his phone on the weather reports, but they've decided, as you say, to go with a big rig.
Well, I think Woz was trying to convince them to change.
Yeah.
And they chose not to. So, that's a classic never listen to your father, right? So, I guess. But, the boys, Ash today with Niall Morrow and Finn Rodowitz in the bow.
Now, do we know this person that's joined the live chat? Salt Lab Productions.
No, I don't really know them.
Hi from a hot and steamy Abu Dhabi. Sipping cocktails by the pool before the big grand final. Looking forward to watching the greatest stream up the Bonds Flying Ruse. There you go.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention maybe at the close of the show that we want to wish the Bonds Flying Ruse all the best for tonight. So I'm sure, what's he calling himself, that clown?
Salt Lab Productions.
Salt Lab Productions. Yeah, I reckon I know who that might be.
I think we might know who that is.
Yeah, so...
Some fool over there. What's he doing? Drinking cocktails. What's the time about? 6 in the morning.
Doesn't he call himself the drone pilot to the stars or something? Yeah.
Full of nothing like self-promotion, Dylan.
G'day, mate. Wish the boys and Tash the best of luck from all of us.
Yeah, we suspect
tonight.
it's Dylan Clark, our normal drone operator, who's on duty over in Dubai.
Yes,
so
it is.
It is.
We've maybe held up just a little bit here. We've got a tanker outbound.
Oh, okay, we have.
And, there's a fair bit of shipping movement today in and out. So it's another thing the teams will have to keep their eyes open for.
Another spanner in the works, Jimmy.
There's the tanker there coming just under the bridge and approaching down towards Bradley's Head. He's not moving at a great rate of knots, but so we're maybe on delay, as Jimmy said. But at the moment, the breeze is still in. Oh, there's an AP flag going up. So we are on delay as we got the comms from the race committee.
So we can give Dylan a hard time for another 15 minutes. Yeah.
Well, it was light yesterday in Dubai, and I not expecting too much more breeze tonight.
No, we could send some over. Send some over from yesterday. You could have had some from yesterday. We had plenty. But, just looking around, still looks like majority are big rig. So, Club Marine, who I thought were going small, look like they've got the big on screen there. So, that's Emma. Big call for them. They're not a super heavy. She's got a couple of decent sized lads up the front, but there's Michael Coxon. So former JJ champion and from the very famous Coxon sailing family. Like I say, just slot right in. Just looks as comfortable as like he's been sailing all season. Just throw a quick jibe around the back of the ferry and wave to his adoring fans. I think his wife and kids have come down to watch. What we got there? G'day to a mate of Jimmy's and mine who's probably at home but tunes in every week, and he's just been battling a few health issues too. Pete Harding, Hardo. Knuckles, g'day mate. Hope you enjoy today's race. Old Drummoyne Skiffy.
Smoke sniffer.
Olivia Dameron, good afternoon. From a snowy Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mother Nature just dumped a foot of snow. So we'll sit back and turn the heater up, and I can tell you the temperature here in Sydney's about, 26, 27 degrees. Beautiful day. So get yourself down here and enjoy the sunshine. But
The harbour's 24.5.
yeah, the water's pretty nice. I've just got a note here that doesn't fit in with our team lists, but I will run with it. That Lazarus is not sailing today, and I think that's right. We don't see her out, but believe the skipper, Tom Kunick, is on the bow of Shaw and Partners. So that contradicts our, as I say, our team sheet, but we'll try and get confirmation of that. So I don't know. It's come from Daughter Sunshine. So probably there's some inside information there. So thank you for that. And maybe Tommy's on the bow of the Shaw and Partners in place of either Tom Anderson. But it's windy again now, Dol. The sun's come out. The sky's cleared a little bit, and plenty of whitecaps looking up the course towards the weather mark right up at Sow and Pigs, the Beashall Boy. We are talking of relics. There's off to our port side. We might get a shot of that in a moment.
Speaking of the man himself.
There it is. That's Woody at the helm of the original Camera Cat. And I can tell you, those days in that boat were wet and wild. That might be Warwick. Is that Warwick Rookland? No, I don't know who that is with it.
Carl Crawford.
Oh, Carl Crawford. Okay, father of Ben Crawford. That is some vessel. Woody sort of made it longer. He tried to waterproof it. And those days were something else aboard the original Camera Cat. So you wouldn't believe the step we've taken up to the new one. It's about 10 steps.
A few more than that, I think.
This magnificent vessel we're on now, in any weather, it serves us brilliantly.
Pretty on a bad day, pretty happy we're not on that anymore.
So we're on delay here. If you've just joined us from Sydney Harbour for Heat 6 of the Club Championship, set for a nor'easterly course, the number 1 course. That long work up to the Beashall Boy 3 times. We're just on delay. Well, there's a big ship. There it is, the Ligurian Sea. Ligurian Sea. Now, do you know where that is, Dol?
No, I don't, Shippo.
Come on, mate. Don't you maybe the expert here?
Haven't been there lately.
Well, you never know. You might have been.
I've been to some pretty out-of-the-way places lately, but not...
Someone will tell us where it is.
Ligurian Sea, is it?
Ligurian? I don't know.
I think it's Ligurian.
Yeah. Maybe it's in Nigeria. There's such a place.
There is, yeah. But,
anyway, it's just about to go round Bradley's Head, and I think once she gets round there, Jimmy, is there any more shipping inbound or outbound that we know of?
It's 2 programmed for around 3 o'clock, but I don't know the size of the ship.
Outbound or inbound?
One's inbound and one's outbound.
Oh, okay. So that'll mix a few things up on the harbour.
Yeah, on our way round, we did see a ferry, not a ferry, a tugboat heading towards the Heads. So we're expecting something to come in.
That was to bring the naval ship in, that one.
Right.
Well, there's the Bradley's Head in the background there as that
little 12-footer
tanker goes round, yeah.
Little 12-footer running down the side of them. It's just sort of, the breeze has just sort of filled in and moderated a little. Looks like the direction's a bit more round in the left, so round to the north more. You can see the couple of boats there. They're low on starboard, sort of in the starting area. A little bit further up, we can. Oh, they've just come away now. Vaikobu were on port tack, just heading up the harbour. They were quite high on port tack, as are Six and Shaw and Partners, who are over near the ship. Yeah, just see them there. Six just starting to head back towards us now, but Shaw and Partners looking very high on port tack. So breezes around in the left right now.
Now, Dol, you know we're the font of all knowledge here, not just sailing. We know everything about everything.
You're the oracle, mate.
No, I'm not saying that,
oracle.
But
you're the oracle.
I get around a bit.
You're the oracle of sailing on Sydney Harbour.
The Ligurian Sea is an arm of the Mediterranean Sea. Did you know that? It lies between the Italian Riviera and the island of Corsica. The sea is thought to have been named after the ancient Ligures people. How's that?
Not too far from where the Devolers come from.
Is that right? Well, you should have known that.
Down in Sicily, yeah.
And I can tell you, it's perfect for long swims. There you go.
There you go.
I knew that, but I just wanted to see if you knew. That's all.
Nice warm water down there, I know that much.
Okay, we are looking upwind and a few little white caps, breeze up and down. Vycobi just sailing past. They got the second rig. Have they got the second?
That's the
big rig. Big rig.
Yeah, as much as I tried to talk them into changing.
Well, they've been a little bit off the pace last weekend and need to pull something out today. So it's a full course, number one course. Nor'easterly breeze, maybe east-nor'east at times, nor-nor'east, as we're seeing the AP just coming down. So we've got a ship almost round Bradley's and on our way to Sydney Heads. Just see the big tanker on the left of screen. So we're not far off signals here to get underway for race 6, the club championship for the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy and the race day partner, the Rag and Famish Hotel. Full lineup, except the Lazarus is not out. Have we seen the 18-footer bar and restaurant? Were they out? They were struggling for crew. I saw. I was out sailing with Luca Gambacorti yesterday. Not on the 18, though, Dol, but I was out sailing with him.
I was going to say, you didn't put your hand up to come out today?
Well, I did, but I couldn't find my trapeze belt, so I had to decline. But Luca had lost a sheet hand, I think, and he was frantically trying to get one. I saw him in the club today, but I didn't ask him whether he was racing or not. So just as I speak, there's the 5-minute flags have gone up. So we're in the starters' hands with just under 5 to go.
Yeah, pretty tough weekend to try and find replacement crew. There's a lot of sailing going on this weekend with quite a number of classes holding their state championships, and in the yachting scene, a lot of people starting to get geared up for Cabbage Tree at the end of the week, and which I think you're covering, aren't you, Jimmy? You'll be bringing that, the start of the Cabbage Tree, to the viewers?
Yeah, we'll be covering the Cabbage Tree Island race on Friday night, 5 p.m. start Australian Daylight Saving Time on CYCA TV, and then following Tuesday we've got Big Boat, don't we, Shibbo?
Yeah, Solus Big Boat. So we're going to be busy, boys.
You have to look after your voice, mate.
That's right. Okay, 4 minutes. Signal's just gone. And what do we got, Dol? It's breezed down a little bit. So
Yeah,
big sail at the moment.
It's big rig at the moment. So the majority of the fleet have the right rig in for now. So it's going to be a long race. We'll see what pans out. But yeah, right now, what you're looking at there looks like not a lot. But we've probably got about 12 to 13, 14 knots. 14 knots in the gust probably. But I expect there's a bit more further up the harbour. Breeze is a bit more round in the left. We're probably looking at north in direction right now.
Flags on your bridge, your storybook over there.
Yep.
They're right and the left, aren't they, Jimmy?
They're swinging.
They're swung.
Yeah. So most of the fleet are behind the starting line, which is a real plus for the 18s this year. Most of the boats somehow find themselves upwind of the starting line with a minute to go. But there's only one, which is Rag and Famish. But he's coming back now, so he's in plenty of time to get lined up for the start. And the breeze is down here, Dol. This could be significant.
This could be the change coming, shippers. So we might get this race away and see a big change in direction at some point.
Yeah,
Not straight away, but certainly at some point during the race.
Still pressure upwind. There's a yacht going upwind just off camera there. He's got a reef in his mainsail and well heeled. But anyway, we're concentrating with just under 2.5 to go.
Flags on the bridge, Dol, in the west now.
They are.
Right.
Yep.
Yes, it's something's going to happen. And we've got 2 minutes to go. The 18s will be away on the nor'easterly course. Race 6 of the club championship. Yandu, the point score leader, being skippered today by Mika Lane, Charlie Wyatt and Lewis Brake on board. A team that really, the boat that carried all before them last year. And already this year they've shown some good form.
And Mika, the JJ champion from the season before. So Pretty strong team
Yeah.
there. No Fang today.
No, he's back home in the
Changing nappies.
depths of Victoria. But anyway, there's the fleet now. They're all starting to line up at the committee boat, except Rag and Famish is down at the port end. Now, with a bit of left in this breeze, it mightn't be it might be a very smart move, but the majority all stacked up at the weather end and down towards the middle of the line with just coming up to 1 minute to go.
The line was laid when the breeze was further in the right, Shippo, and now it's gone around to the left. It's very pin favoured right now.
Yeah, Rag's right down there, all on his own with 50 seconds to go. Yandu in the middle of the pack, up to windward as sixth. Michael Coxon steering it today in place of Jacob Marks. Just behind them is Club Marine. So good last week with Emma Rankin. Oh,
The Kitchen Maker and Royal Oak have been caught napping.
yes. And where's... okay, down at that leeward end, Rag and Famish.
He's looking for a port hander, Shippo.
There's not much breeze down
He's
there.
got the little rig in and he's sort of dead in the water at the
really
moment.
struggling. You can see him at the top of the fleet there. He's not going to get down there. We've got 10 seconds to go. Oh, it's big in the left, the breeze now, Dol. Big in the
Starting to
left.
shift.
Get down there, quickly tack over. And the few boats have missed it. Okay, we're underway. Who's that got advanced down there?
Killer
Was that
Coffee.
Killer Coffee? Okay, Michael Coxon, very good start up to windward. He's away in good pressure. Oh, a few boats have missed it. Kitchen Maker's missed it.
Gotcha for
Gotcha
life.
for life. Has missed it.
And Royal Oak also
the
poor
breeze.
start from Shaw and Partners and Ballard Property Group.
And
too.
Rag and Famish with a little rig. They got punished down the end. But we're off to Bradley's with this group. And at sixth would be the leader of this pack. But there's some big holes now in this window.
There is. It looks like it's starting to get very patchy and could shut down before it changes direction.
There's sixth and Balmain. Balmain stepping out very nicely under the lee of, coming out through the lee of sixth. And well, did we get all? Was there a recall, Jimmy? I didn't see.
No individual recall flag went up, and
there was a second hooter though, wasn't there? I think.
Well, you go off the
They're
flags,
but yeah, they didn't put a flag up. So
Okay, so we think everyone's clean. We'll proceed on those thoughts that everyone's okay, everyone's in play.
yeah, Balmain group stepping out nicely,
Yeah.
good speed and height. They built some speed and now they're starting to grind a bit of height out.
So they'll just keep going here till they get this left-hand shift. But you won't want to go too much further because a lot of lee under Bradley's head, which is surprising with the breeze in the left. But maybe this breeze will extend in there. So a 12-foot skiff goes skidding past. He's got plenty of pressure going downwind. But it's Balmain that's really stood out come out from under six. Just to leeward of him is Yandu. Then further down is Fisher Paykel with Jordan Gertis, the new Commodore of the 18-footer Skiff Club, elected this morning, taking over from Simon Nern, who now takes over as president from John Winning from Woody, stepped down after meritorious service as the president of the club. He's handed the baton over, but anyway, here's Balmain. Henry Larkins, Tom Grimes and Charlie Gundy.
Once again, looking very slippery, the Balmain boys, getting through the water nicely.
Oh, this breeze looks tricky going upwind here. Very much in the left once you get to Bradley's.
Starting to rotate, but it's also starting to shut down. As we move up, they'll get a little bit more, but I think it's going to start to shut down as we start to progress up the harbour.
Yeah, you can see Balmain's tacked in light pressure. Yandu up on their hip. Also,
Very high on
there's
board.
the Killer Coffee. He's probably gone, oh, mate, he's getting a nice high on the left. He's okay. I thought he was too light a pressure, but he looks okay there.
Great start today from the Killer Coffee team.
Yep.
Great effort.
I did see the sponsor Nick in the clubhouse, so
Yeah, he's an enthusiast, isn't he?
yeah, he's getting down quite regularly, so good to see.
Killer Coffee just taking the stern of 6th.
They obviously had a few double shots to get them going. It's Michael Coxon. He's going to take it all the way over to Bradley's head here.
Yeah, he's looking for this left-hander. If the pressure stays in, as he tacks now.
He was about to get a big gassing from a TP52 or a Virago Sydney to Hobart boat there, so he bailed out while he had a chance.
Okay, well, Balmain and Yandu got good pressure out in the middle. And I think it's Balmain would lead from Yandu. These are the two leaders. Gee, some blokes got buried early there, Dole, didn't they?
Big time. Yeah.
Shaw and Partners is one of them. Rag and Famish, Club Marine, they're way back.
Well, the one that's way back, Shippo, is the Royal Oak Hotel. They're just not far from the start line still.
Going up and down in the one spot. So really the order is
Balmain, Yandu, Killer Coffee.
Yeah, and then 6th. We're on 6th here.
Yeah, going that extra distance on starboard tack really didn't work for Coco because he's now soaked down into the line of, even though he sailed an extra 100 metres, he's on the same line. He was bow down pointing at their transom. So, but they're getting through the water nicely now, three strings.
Oh. What's happened is, Dole, that these boats have jumped out in pressure, but the other half of the fleet have got no pressure. I'm looking behind and some of them are just becalmed. Club Marine, Rag and Famish, absolutely no wind at all.
They're in the convergence of the two breezes, whereas these lead group managed to just punch out and get into the side where the sort of northerly is still winning over the westerly.
You'd think it, the Killer Coffee, he's got some really good height. They're really getting into this left pressure. If anyone could gamble and get back to the left, they could really pay some big dividends, but no one can do that at the moment because the boats behind have got no pressure at all. So this leading group of 4 have jumped right away. It's the Killer Coffee.
Well, you want to sail the shallowest angle, shortest distance to the mark, and right now that is the port tack, so they'll just keep punching up, especially while they've got a bit of pressure.
Steve Thomas at the helm of Killer Coffee with Max Voss and Nick Vozenaros. They've got pressure, and these boats going in towards Shark Island. That's the lighthouse on the Shark Island. Killer Coffee just getting that left-handed puffs occasionally, really getting out off their hip now. Oh, looking behind, it's a glass out in some areas.
Yeah, the two breezes have converged behind us and it's just killed it. There we are with the Killer Coffee. I'd say that they'd be a leader on handicap right now by about 20 minutes.
A country mile.
Yeah. So, yeah, lovely shot of the boys there. There's one for your wall, Nick.
Yeah, they're on maximum handicap of 10 minutes, but anyway, a long way to go. We're not even halfway up the first beat. Now there's some good pressure. Look at Yandu's got good pressure, 6th pressure. And following those 4 are Vycobi and Fisher Paykel. Off camera at the moment. See them in a moment. Coming down with, there's Kirk Mitchell, Vycobi, and to leeward, Fisher Paykel with Jordan Girder steering.
Yeah, they just managed to wiggle their way out of that dead patch and get into the pressure.
I like what Michael Coxon's doing in 6th. He's going into the left, in towards Taylor's Bay. You see him at the top of screen. That's Yandu. It's really going big time left here.
Yeah, they're trying to get, there's a bit more pressure in that left-hand side. They're trying to get themselves over there. Yandu just hooked into a really nice vein of pressure. It's not going to last too long, but they've certainly banked that nicely.
Yep. 6th has come back. Not all that high, but it's Yandu. So it's a big split. So there's Killer Coffee and Balmain. They're probably close to the 2 leaders. Yandu's gone left into Taylor's Bay, but Balmain and Killer Coffee going in towards Steel Point, and Balmain behind the the Killer Coffee. Wow, I should bottle that one for sure. They've done a fine job. They got a good start, Killer Coffee, and they've kept on keeping on.
Yeah, Yandu continuing over to that western shore. Michael Coxon tacked back on 6 and was very...
There's Coco having a look around.
He was very bow down, and he's given away a lot of distance here.
He got caught in the middle a bit, didn't he, there, Coco? He didn't go left, didn't go right. But Yandu off camera into Taylor's Bay is really down on port. He'll come out on starboard. He could really come out on a high port. But anyway, we're concentrating on 6th.
Yeah, and they were bowed down. They were pointing down. Vykobi just managed to hook onto a bit of a lift, and they've sailed right around the bow of 6th.
I think the big winner out of this at the moment has been Balmain. He's going... There's Balmain there. You'll see coming into shot in a moment, coming out of Taylor's Bay, is Yandu.
6 will be clear ahead of them by quite a distance. Balmain now tacking. So basically tacked in front of the line of Yandu.
Yeah. So remembering before there's Yandu, there's Taylor's Bay. The lead of Balmain to Yandu is probably 150 metres. But it's the Killer Coffee that's showing the way.
And they're coming back on a very high starboard tack right now. They're bow up, and they are well in contention, Steve Thomas. Great start to this race.
Okay, well, remembering when they crossed last time, Killer Coffee was ahead of Balmain, and it looks as though it's going to be close, but we'll see Killer Coffee come into the picture in a moment.
There they are, with starboard advantage. But I think
Balmain's
going to be close. I think
he's got pressure in the left.
Narrowly cross. Or is he...
Killer Coffee getting bowed down. What's he going to do? Now, Balmain is across. Oh, Fisher Paykel nearly into windward behind us. Oh.
Yeah, they were just trying to duck behind Vykobi there, Shippo. And
yeah, got tangled up. There they are. It's shifty, Doll, up here.
Very shifty, very gusty. So if you're going to be on a bad tack, you at least want to do it in pressure. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to link up these gusts.
So Balmain leads. That's what we know at this stage. And we're about just over halfway up the first beat. And there's a ferry that caused a bit of an issue with Killer Coffee and Yandu. Killer Coffee had to come back. So she's on top of Yandu. So the Killer Coffee second, Yandu third. 6th would be 4th. Anyone out to the right? Not Fisher Paykel going in towards...
Yeah, Fisher Paykel got bounced off that same ferry, Shippo, and they had to come back and then had that altercation with Vykobi. So
Vykobi continuing out to the western shore on a very low port tack. But there's Killer Coffee and Yandu giving chase to Balmain. You see Balmain is tacked and coming back to cross them again.
Well, the breeze is only about 8 to 9 knots here. And it's probably northeast, or maybe north. And it's hard to know which side to protect. But Balmain, again, doing an excellent job. Just ahead of Killer Coffee and Yandu. It's Nielsen Park, top right of screen.
There's the three of them in pretty close proximity. And looks to me like Balmain's coming out to the middle and coming to some nice breeze out there. So I'm expecting he might get across this bit of pressure and then tack back and carry it all the way back again.
This next run's going to be tricky also, down to Shark Island. But
I was going to say that, Shippo. I think we're going to do the downwind. We'll run down and then they'll hit a dead brick wall at about Shark Island.
Just looking back in the fleet, it's a massive split so early in the race, but Balmain tacking in pressure, high left. That's what he went looking for. That's what he's got. Looking very smart.
Rig setup looking very nice too.
not on shot, Shippo.
Oh, six is capsized. Dolly, you might have done it. You
There's
put
the curse.
There. I told you. I told you.
He got in behind the ferry there.
Oh, okay, right.
Ran out
So
of
we
grease.
blame the ferry.
Yes, it's probably Phil Barnett. But, of course, you'll notice that the Vycobi survived it, so maybe a bit of bias.
Oh, well, that's a bit of a setback for Coco on the 6th. They've just got going again.
Yeah, a long way to go in this race.
Yeah.
We could easily see the fleet recompress at some point when we get to a big change in
The
direction.
breeze getting lighter as they approach the top mark. And Balmain, there's 6. There's the Rag and Famish on the little rig. And out in the left, here's an interesting cross off camera. There's the cross we're talking about. Vycobi have come into play. They went hard into the left, right in almost into Chowder Head, and looking pretty sharp out here. They're high. They're almost on a ley line in that angle to the Beechel Boy. And what's the tide? Sorry, the tide is...
Tide's coming in,
Coming in,
but it's
okay.
not a big tide, so not a lot of flow.
Oh, that's in the distance is Balmain. Not quite as high as Vycobi. Then out to the left, there's Killer Coffee and Vycobi. Yandu right in on Bottle and Glass on the Nielsen Park shore. They look reasonably high coming out on starboard as well, but I think it's closed up a little bit for the minor placings here, but Balmain still leads quite comfortably. Fisher Paykel in the mix. And that's Club Marine that we haven't... Is that Club Marine?
It is, yeah.
Haven't spoken about Emma. She's come up
back
the middle.
into it a little.
Yeah, enjoying these lightish conditions. Oh, these boats in the left are really high now. Killer Coffee. There's Yandu coming out off Bottle and Glass. Starboard tack.
So at some point they are going to get a big header because
Henry Larkins wouldn't like what he's seeing. If he looks back, Vycobi and Killer Coffee are super high. They're probably, Killer Coffee just into windward. But Vycobi, they could be very close to the lead here. They're high on the left. They're overcooked at the moment. Curtin Mitchell, good job. Henry Larkins in the Balmain, got to find a spot to come back.
Balmain looking very bowed down now.
They'll see them in a moment on the leach of Vycobi. There they are.
There's Balmain.
Yeah, just looking for one to come back. Now. Yeah, Vycobi's closed this game right up by punching into the left. So we're a couple of minutes away from the weather mark, but Balmain still leads. What did Yan do? Well, Yandu's now behind Vycobi, behind the Killer Coffee. He's so far back he had to tack out of that Mickle Lane in the Yandu. So it's lighter here too, Dole. There's a few little puffs out of the left, but not much other than that. See Vycobi struggling for a bit of pressure there. They've got one man in. So you'd be punished now on a small rig, that's for sure.
Yeah, but maybe for not too long,
maybe.
Shippo.
What's the breeze in the western suburbs? We got a bit?
There's breeze coming. It's just whether it gets here. But, yeah, just on the other side of the city, there's plenty of breeze. I've just been...
From the west, is it?
It is.
Yeah,
I've just been informed by a rather renowned former 18-foot skiff sailor, said that it is absolutely howling in Glebe.
In Glebe? Wow.
Yeah. So that is not too far away. Very tight cross here between Balmain and Vycobi. Vycobi having to dip, so Balmain still leads narrowly. They won't be too far off attack, Balmain. Here they go.
Yeah, it's close at the top.
And the airport, Shippo, 27 knots.
Direction?
Now, last time I sailed an 18-footer, I didn't want the big rig in 27 knots, I can tell you.
I was worried about the gaff when I was sailing at 27 knots.
Yeah, but there was 20 of you to swing it down, mate.
Yeah, get out on the jockey pole.
Yeah.
So, in what direction at the airport?
Northwest at the airport, and Western Sydney is west.
Okay, Vykobe's tacked. Not much pressure there. Balmain tacking on his gas almost. So we've got some bloke wants a shout out to the Bonds Flying Ruse, which we've already done, haven't we?
Yep. So Balmain didn't lay, they had to tack again.
Yeah, it's light and tacking in these conditions, it's tough. Where did I see that message from someone? Anyway, I'll get back to that.
Now, we're not sailing in Badgerys Creek, Shippo, but it's 35 knots out there.
Wonderful. Well,
that should make it exciting.
Cat amongst the pigeons, as they say, as Balmain leads at the weather mark the first time. Henry Larkins, Tom Grimes and Charlie Gundy, Vykobe, Kirk Mitchell, Daniel Barnett and Andrew Stevenson.
Great to see those boys back in the hunt.
Yes, they're around. And this is going to be a tough old run. Okay, Balmain set, Vykobe set. Just running in towards really Watson's Bay. It's not far off.
You'd be driving pretty quickly, wouldn't you?
You get down to that, almost down to that island. But anyway, we're just waiting here to see if this significant change comes. Oh, Balmain's trying to jibe in no air. He's got to get the bow up. But anyway, we'll concentrate on third, Yandu, and then Killer Coffee in fourth, and a fair gap to fifth, which is Fisher Paykel, and then Shaw and Partners. After they got buried at the start, John Harris, he's come through quite well. Okay, Yandu's around, Mika Lane, Charlie White and Louis Brake. Okay, there's the Killer Coffee, Steve Thomas, Max Voss and Nick Rosenrose. Oh, gee, this is... there's going to be some tricks down here, Dol. Yandu's come round in a really good puff. Balmain and Vykobe have already jibed. You'll see them in a moment.
Yeah, Vykobe's going to try and roll Balmain here if they can.
Yandu got themselves right into play there. So this run is light air, bow up.
Oh, and just as Vykobe was starting to get the better of Balmain there, they dipped a wing. That brings Yandu
right over the top
into play here.
It's a big VMG run here.
There's the Yandu.
Oh, she's stubbed her toe, yep. Now Vykobe...
They're starting to hit that breeze is starting to shift. So very, very tricky here, folks. What's happening is they're sailing down now into the converging breeze where it's pretty much shutting down. And as I said, this could see the fleet compress somewhat at some point. There's Shaw and Partners. They just had another extra attack, but they're at the ley line now and tacking over. John Hanger Harris on the helm today. The next round is 6, also having to put in an extra 2 tacks. Tacks are expensive, so ideally you don't want to do that. Shaw and Partners with the set. They're away. It looks like we're going to park up down here, Shippo. These 3 lead boats not with a lot of pressure right now. Vykobe's managed to stick their nose out in front though. Well done to Kirk Mitchell.
Looks tricky ahead.
Very, very. Breeze is shutting down. They're now bow up, lifting, down pressure. And if they jibe, they'll probably be sailing back along the same track that they just sailed. But Vykobe's just picked up a little bit of breeze.
That's all it took, wasn't it? They've now jumped up to about a 6 or 8 boat length lead and extending.
Just sniffed out a little gust there.
You can see the bow down. The other 2. Oh, poor old Balmain. He's been left for dead, literally. No pressure. So while we're watching this enthralling race, you'd have to say that. We're going to cheerio to the CYCA members bar where they're into their 4th schooner of lemonade.
A bit slow.
Where they're launching their Rolex Sydney Hobart campaign for the Happy Wanderers crew, who are the current and former ADF personnel, Special Forces, racing on the renamed Vamp. We wish those boys all the success for this year's Hobart race. Hello to you guys, and we thank you for your wonderful service to the country. But at the moment, Vycobi have just really jumped away. But as you said, Dol, there's a lot more jibing and fun and games to play out.
In this race,
only halfway down the first beat. Now, when do they jibe? They're right out in the middle of the harbour.
They've managed to hold that pressure. Unfortunately for Yandu and Balmain, they also had their breeze stolen by a cruise boat, but Yandu's just managed to pick up some pressure now, and now they're on a roll again. Took a bit of time, but they've got some breeze. And then not long after that, Balmain just starting to pick up now. So our lead 3 boats managed to pick up a little bit of breeze, and they're off again, off and rolling. It's very tricky to pick a drive angle to come back in here.
Not on screen. The Red Hill Estate is over at Nelson Park having a swim, having a coffee at your favourite beach.
Yeah, wow. They've got a bit of work to do to get back into this race. Boy, oh boy. I got some sage advice from Michael Spees, ex-JJ champion. He's quoted the late Sir James Hardy, who said, "You only cross the tide once."
It's a lesson a lot of us have learnt, mate, but not a big strong tide today, admittedly, Speesy, but you are dead right, mate.
But behind is interesting. Wow, this is interesting. Oh, here we go. Fisher Paykel and Shaw and Partners are getting bow down in pressure. They're going to make things very tight for the leading group. If they stay in this pressure, Vycobi's going to be struggling to cross them when she comes back. But Shaw and Partners and Fisher Paykel and the fleet are all running down, being headed significantly the further behind you are.
Yeah.
So there's 6th bow down.
And breeze rotating to the left, so the further left you are, the better you'll be off.
Yeah. So poor old Vycobi, who looked to be leading, it's going to be a tough jibe back for them. They're just jibing now off camera. There they go. Lightish airs.
Well, be okay if they pick up a little bit of breeze, but if it gets light, they're going to be bow up and in a whole lot of trouble.
Shaw and Partners and Fisher Paykel screaming down Nielsen Park. Shaw. There they are, top, just behind that, above the orange spinnaker. There they are. There's Nielsen Park. There's Shaw and Partners. Oh boy, here. Who's going to win out here? Fisher Paykel got good pressure at the moment. Jordan Gertis and John Harrison, Shaw and Partners, looking strong.
Yeah, that breeze is just rotating, which is just giving them more and more depth. So the direction's actually helping them more than the strength. They have got a bit of pressure, but it's more the direction that's really working in their favour. Fisher Paykel and Shaw and Partners pointing at the island, whereas Yandu and Vycobi came down, they were pointing at Bradley's head. There's a big difference.
Big loser here has been Yandu, but the big winner here has been Shaw and Partners and Fisher Paykel. But Shaw and Partners really putting himself right in the frame after being behind early. You'll see him in one moment, almost laying down, but no, he's not quite. And Vycobi coming in on Port Jibe. It's going to be close here. I think Vycobi might still have his nose just in front. Top of screen with a white spinnaker is Shaw and Partners. Is Vycobi in the foreground?
They're almost pointing in the same direction.
Yes.
On opposite jibes. So that shows the differential in breeze direction. They're about to converge. So I can only imagine at some point Shaw and Partners is going to go bow up a bit here.
Yeah, well, Vycobi will cross only narrowly, and Shaw and Partners from where they were done a tremendous recovery job, as has Fisher Paykel. They're third. Where did Yandu end up after all that? Oh, they went into Taylor's Bay and got absolutely dumped.
Yeah, well, Killer Coffee Group.
They're down.
Oh, Marine and Smegel got in front of them.
Here comes Killer Coffee. He mightn't even lay the aisle. He's below the lay line at the moment in a screamer.
And he's got a puff.
Yeah, there's Yandu and Club Marine. We'll see Killer Coffee in a moment. There's Vycobi running into Rose Bay. Not far off a jibe, I wouldn't think. That's Kirk Mitchell. He will lead, I would think, at the jibe mark. There's the Killer Coffee. He is a very, very close fourth. And then there's big gap after that. Huge gap. The Killer Coffee almost laying down to the mark here, Dol.
He's on a nice puff and he's bowed down.
And Vycobi's left his jibe rather late. Can he get up to the mark?
Jordan Gertis is just hanging on to that same bit of pressure, looking for one to jibe back on. He's going to run out of runway soon, so we'll have to jibe.
Shaw and Partners jibing. That's pretty good. Oh, not the smoothest of jibes, but anyway, they're around. Just.
No main on.
No main or spinnaker on yet. But Vycobi's in all sorts of trouble, way low of the mark. They're going to have to drop because they're getting into this northwesterly now. They're going to drop even down at the edge of Point Piper and two sail up to the mark. They might even be a beat up to the mark if they get into this northwester.
Yeah, breeze is starting to switch.
Yep. Spinners will be down in this next leg from Shark to Clark. So it's Vycobi leads, Shaw and Partners second. Then the third will be Fisher Paykel.
Vycobi don't want to knock it off, but they're going to have to.
There's some streaks of pressure coming down now. The breeze is starting to get fresh again out of the northwest. Vycobi dropping. Fisher Paykel jibed in a soft spot. Where'd the Balmain boys? They were leading at the weather mark. Okay,
yeah, to win just Killer Coffee.
The Killer's got a drop.
There they are.
Oh, this is tricky stuff. Like Killer Coffee dropping. Here comes Balmain in on port to jibe quickly. Head of the fleet, Vycobi's drop. Shaw and Partners about to drop. Balmain jibing at the mark. And what are they doing? A windward drop, I think. That's the manoeuvre.
Yeah, and I think the earlier drop's a good decision, I think.
Oh, it's quite fresh behind us.
Sure is.
Here comes Emma Rankin, and Killer Coffee's got a bit on. Meanwhile, at the front of the ranch is Vycobi have jumped away. They got the spinnaker off early. Killer Coffee in a little bit of trouble. That's Vycobi and Shaw and Partners still trying to get the spinnaker down on Shaw and Partners. But Vycobi jumped away, got the spinnaker down in the right time. And
great game from Emma Rankin there.
And Yandu, boy oh boy, did they lose out. They're nowhere near the jibe mark. There's Yandu dropping the spinnaker right on the Vaucluse side of Nielsen Park. This is again this puffy breeze. Oh, Shaw and Partners almost in backwards off Point Piper. They're just tacking in this northwester. Meanwhile, Fisher Paykel going over the top of them to windward. Poor and Shaw and Partners really tangled up there.
The breeze is all over the place in
Shaw and Partners about to capsize.
They're gone.
They're over. So the boats are now on the wind between Shark and Clark Island. This breeze starting to fill in from the northwest. These boats, you've got to get your spinnaker off quickly here. There's Rag and Famish.
Complete switch in direction.
And freshening. This could
Yeah,
be now.
Shippo, and like
little
I said, I'm tipping that it's not going to be big rig in about 10 minutes.
No, it'll be little sail rig. Quickly put a reef in. But anyway, we're concentrating on the leader, Vycobi, on the wind in this, what have we got, westerly now, I guess? West-northwest perhaps, in plenty of pressure. Look at Vycobi. Overcooked at the overpressed at the moment. Breeze squirreling round the western end of Point Piper. Oh, Breeze has gone hard left here, Dole. This is going to be a bit of a battle for survival here.
It will be. If they get around this mark and get the kite up, it'll certainly be an adventure getting down the harbour, because they'll get the kite up. At some point, they're going to hit that divergent breeze.
Keep the boat upright. That's the first rule. If you can do that, you're in good shape. There's more breeze coming down from the harbour bridge. Breeze on the top of the bridge, Jimmy. Those flags are flying pretty significantly, aren't they?
Mate, they are hard
Straight
out
at
of the
us.
west.
Yeah.
Pointing straight at us, yeah.
So the Shaw and partners are still just getting themselves upright. So the order is Vycobi, Fisher Paykel, Balmain. That Wesley hasn't filtered down to Shark Island yet. There's boats going all directions, including Yandu, who's absolutely becalmed down at the island. But we're approaching the weather mark, which is
The bottom mark, which is the weather mark, which
Yep.
is right here.
Right here, yep. It's a
Just
long-
a bit confused. There's a few sixth
Marks.
Turning
around.
marks.
lying around here. I'm trying to work out which one's the right one.
But I think this is the right one here, Jimmy.
You're on the
They're
right
about
one, Jimmy, yeah.
50 metres away from Vycobi. He'll round that, and then what is normally a beat will be a tightish run, I think, down to the Beachel Buoy. And there's more breeze coming down the harbour here, Dol. I think they'd get a spinnaker on initially, won't they?
They'll get a spinnaker on, and then they're going to get halfway down and
it's
they'll be
gonna
back on the
collapse,
wind again,
yeah.
I think. So
Not on camera, Pete, but it looks like Rag and Famish and potentially Smeg have come together. Hearing signals off the start boat, and I think, is that an abandonment flag?
Well, Vycobi have now stopped. They've run out of pressure. Where's that breeze gone? It's lifted off, but it's still plenty up to windward.
Yep.
Is this the finish, is it? We'll get some
No,
signals in the moment.
Jimmy's just trying to make out what flags are flying on the start boat.
Looks like the abandonment flag is flying.
Try and get some comms at the moment, but we're in a state of flux here because there's no breeze back at Shark Island. There's plenty of breeze coming down the harbour. That's the committee boat we're looking at. He's got 6 over 2 flag. Are they abandoning and going for a short course? Oh, no, is that 6 over 2? So if they abandon and we're going to run a windward leeward, Jimmy. He's got 6 over 2 on the committee boat.
Yeah, well, they've got an
abandoned.
abandonment flag up, and I'm just trying to get in contact with them.
We think that maybe an abandonment, because the breeze has done all sorts of tricks here, and you can see their boats are in a nor'easter, some are in a westerly. The breeze just hasn't filtered down towards Shark Island. There's Smeg, still running a light easterly down there. There's Rag and Famish without a spinnaker. There's Vycobi, who is clearly ahead. She's just sailing away from what was the leeward mark. There's the mark there, just going out of screen to the right. Oh, look at that breeze. It's in all directions down there. So we're thinking maybe abandonment and going to restart again with a...
The abandonment flag is flying, but I don't know that Vycobi has got the memo because they're heading
charging off
back down the harbour.
So we'll stay tuned, but we think the race has been abandoned and we're going to start again with a 2-lap windward leeward.
No, Shippo, there's cross comms on the same channel from the 12-footers, so That's what I'm trying to decipher which one's which.
All right, stand by. Just stand by.
It is definitely code flag N that I could see flying off the back of the start boat, even although it is a very small flag and hard to see.
Well, there's Vycobi on their way to the Beashel Buoy for the second time, but is this all for nothing? Who knows? Stand by.
Sorry for the confusion, folks. We're just trying to raise some comms, but in the meanwhile, enjoy the footage of Vycobi blasting their way down towards the Beashel Buoy, but I expect at some point they're going to run out of pressure down there.
Kirk Mitchell now having a look behind, but they're mainly looking to windward to see where the wind's coming from. They're stepping in to set a shoot. I'm not sure.
Shipper, I'm just hearing from the Ripple side. Got no phone comms with them, but hearing over the radio chatter that they've abandoned and we're going down to start a westerly course.
Right, okay. Well, there's the Ripple side, the race committee vessel, and that all makes sense. Race abandoned after Vycobi clearly in the lead, and they're going down to Rose Bay to try and get a windward-leeward course of 2 laps set.
Someone might want to go and let Kirk Mitchell know.
Well, Vycobi are meanwhile halfway down to the Beashel Buoy. So they're still at full wick. Some will have to go and chase him, but look at this breeze here, Dol. If we look down towards Shark Island from our vantage spot, it's all over the place still, isn't it?
Sure is. I think the westerly, like we were saying earlier, I think the westerly will end up winning. The thing is how fresh is it going to get? Because their next issue is going to be 90% of the fleet's got big rig on. And if it comes through to the strength that we've had out in the western suburbs, these boats with big rig aren't going to be able to sail. The competitors aren't really aware of what's going on.
No, certainly Vycobi's not. He's down off almost chowed ahead. And he's got a long way to come back, but the breeze here is a sort of sou'easter. It's all over the shop. So if you've just joined us or you're wondering what's happening, the race got underway a little bit late, but we got almost 1 lap done and it's been abandoned. The breeze has completely changed direction. It's quit in some areas. It's trying to come in from the west. And after 1 lap, Vycobi was a clear leader, but they've abandoned the race. And we're going to try and have another go with a windward-leeward course.
And if you look at Vycobi now, Shippo,
yes,
they've hit that wall that we were talking about of the other breeze direction and have just come to a stop. So that's probably a fortunate thing because it means that they won't sail all the way down to the Beashel Buoy. And hopefully the race committee is going to send a boat over there to maybe let them know what's going on. They're probably having a look and wondering where their opposition are right now.
Yes, they certainly got a good break and they kept on keeping on.
A real shame for them.
Because they was having their best race of the season. But it was one of those days, poor old Shaw and partners, they were well up and then they capsized, and there's the fleet now running back to the starting area, which will be near, we assume, Shark Island. And we give a cheero out to our regular drone pilot who's over in Dubai working with the Bonds flying crew. So good luck to you, Dylan, and the team, and let's hope you can bring the gold home, which is significant in Sail GP tonight, our time. It's $2 million, isn't it, up for prize money for the top team today. So good luck to Tom Slingsby and his crew. But anyway, we're back on Sydney Harbour. There's the Killer Coffee, have an outstanding race today.
Yeah, real shame for those blokes too, Shippo, having the race of their lives, and it gets the pin pulled off it.
I think Vycobi's still racing, are they?
Well, no one's told them, and they've been caught in the convergence of the two breezes. And
Woody's going over in the old camera cap.
He has to.
He'll tell him what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
they're going to be most unhappy, the Vycovie boys.
what a day. I think this breeze is trying to get in, isn't it? Out of the west doll.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Shaw and partners look like they're heading for home,
Yeah. They've had enough.
as is Yandu.
Yandu as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Looks that way.
It does, doesn't it? Very much like Yandu's going home.
Well, both
Are they
both those boats have fill-in skippers, although they're both very able skippers, which maybe their experiences is telling them it is going to blow like hell, and I don't want to break this other person's boat, right?
So we still got, what are the breeze strengths out to the west of Sydney, Dol? Have you got that?
We'll have a look what the latest is, but we're getting over 25 knots. And we've got if we look out to our right now towards the bridge, there's a fair bit coming towards us right now. So I would think this isn't looking too promising myself.
Just stand by. We're trying to get another race underway on the 18-footers. It's tricky conditions. The nor'easter's run out of puff, and it's trying to get into the west. And, boy, there's some puffs coming down here now, Dol.
It's going to be here any minute, mate. Fort Denison, 23 knots.
It's here.
And it's only going to get more.
And it's certainly more. Look at this now. Boy, this puff's just come out of nowhere. This is going to test everyone. I think Shaw and Partners and Yandu are the wise two. They've gone home. This is going to be really fresh. Well, it is fresh.
And he's just moved the start down to the lee shore of Shark Island.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
There's a bit of runway.
They won't drift too far.
There's a bit of runway, but not much. And boy, you can, there's the Royal Oak in a bit of trouble there, upside down. There's Vycovie, who was leading the first race when it got abandoned. You can see these white caps are starting to build. Hasn't this weather been crazy? You know, hard westerly yesterday, then got into the south, back into the nor'east, back in the west now.
But as mentioned, this is what we were expecting to happen. It's a little bit earlier than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting this to be about 3:30 to 4 o'clock. But here it is now, and it's about to get really fresh.
Really fresh, yeah.
With these boats with big rig in,
they'll be struggling.
They'll be really, struggling. They'll be upside down, Shippo.
Most of them will be. There's a couple already upside down.
The boats that are upright and starting to get into this breeze are already doing it pretty tough.
So, who's got small rigs on? Rag and Famish, we know, has got a small rig.
Rag and
Is
Famish.
Emma Rankin?
No, Emma's got big
rig.
Beck Hancock
in Ballard.
In Ballard property is small rig, and I think that's about all that it actually. Oh, and Red Hill Wines, Red Hill Estate. Red Hill Estate have got small in, but haven't seen them for a while.
So we can tell you that Shaw and Partners with John Harris at the helm, he's gone home. Yandu Mika Lane has gone home. And are there any others sort of heading that way?
It looks to me like maybe Gotcha for Life is heading that way.
Yeah. There's another one. Is that a 12-footer up there, is it?
Yeah, that's a 12-footer, Shippo. Yeah. Ash Rooklyn in Smeg is heading in that direction, but not really committed.
So,
but in all honesty, I would expect if this continues to build,
they're not going to race away. Or?
Yeah, they're making the right decision. I think those boats that are going, because I don't know that we'll get a race away in this, which is a real shame for those boats who did elect to go for the little rig, because they took the gamble.
Well, it's gusting, as you say, 28 knot gust at Fort Denison, which is to windward of the starting line, right under the harbour bridge. For those that are unfamiliar with the harbour, the breeze is coming from basically under the harbour bridge right down the racecourse. Sydney Airport's westerly at 20 knots with gusts of 33.
Is that all?
Very pleasant.
Good big rig weather.
Very pleasant.
Oh, and Rag and Famish.
They,
Sorry we didn't catch that, but they just did another one of their trademark nose tops.
they got lead in the bow of that boat. That's
Yeah, they might want to check that front tank for
there
water.
for water.
Yeah. But they do have the little rig in, and they just pitch poled off Bradley's head. So
So what have we got here, Dol? We've got 20 knots, have we?
20 knots
20
about
knots.
here now, but I think there's more coming, Shippo.
A few going home now. Smeg's going home, I think. And that's a gotcha for life going with her.
Flags on the harbour bridge, you can see there, they're not really flapping very much, they're just dead straight.
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's where the breeze is coming from, right under that bridge, Fort Denison, and down onto the racecourse here. We're off Shark Island. They're trying to run a windward-leeward race, which would take the windward mark up near Clark Island. The 12-foot skiffs are out there racing in their state title. And the breeze is getting fresher, isn't it?
Yeah, as expected. Look, it's going to be north of 20 knots, and with a big rig, that's not saleable.
No. It's going to be... There's a great overhead shot. Look at that. It's where the breeze is coming from, the city and the harbour bridge. Coming in streaks down in this westerly direction.
So Smeg via Kobe and Club Marine are heading up into Double Bay, I think, just hedging their bets, just trying to find some safe water. So if it does start to get nuclear, they're nice and close to the club. Looks to me like Michael Coxon in sixth is probably contemplating the same thing.
Rag and Famish still capsized off Bradley's. Where's the Royal Oak? Jimmy, they were upside down a minute ago. Where are they?
Over here, aren't they?
They get up...
Yeah, they're just
they're
up
up and
Bradley's. I've just located the top mark if we do get a race underway, but they're changing the flags.
That's Abandonment. What do we got here, Dol?
Game over.
Abandoned.
Yeah.
Game over, yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're sorry, folks. We've just got the news or seen the flags go up. Racing has been abandoned for the day. This breeze is going to get fresher and fresher out of the west. So, well, we tried. Everyone tried. But we didn't eventuate into a race, unfortunately.
They did their best, and, we were expecting that breeze to change, and it was looking that way. Even when we got underway, we knew that there was breeze to the west of us shifting. So it is a shame, but obviously we can't control the weather, and the starter can't control the weather. So we'll just have to come back and try again.
Do it again. Yeah. Next week. So that's the sad news from the harbour. Once again, a tricky day. The weather played the ultimate role, and the racing for the day has been abandoned. We got one race in, or half a race in, or a third of the race in, and abandoned because the breeze changed. There's six setting a spinnaker. I don't know what they're doing. They're going for a bit of a run, aren't they?
Well, they wouldn't know what the signals are, so they would have heard a hooter and thinking we might be going into sequence.
So, anyway, you'll see there's six. Michael Coxon steering today for Jacob Marks. They are running back towards the start line, which is not in existence because the racing has been abandoned for the day. So, sorry to bring that news. Next Sunday, 7th of December, the first Sunday of summer, we've got a New South Wales Championship, 2 races, races 3 and 4. But Sale Media team, as we mentioned earlier, will be back in action for plenty of action over the coming week or so. Next Friday night at 5 p.m. Sydney time, we're covering the start of the annual Cabbage Tree Island Yacht Race, which is a qualifying race for the Rolex Sydney Hobart Race. A fleet of 76 boats will start in Sydney Harbour near Clark Island and race north to Cabbage Tree Island, which is just north of Port Stephens, and return to Sydney. a race of duration between anywhere for the maxis between 15 hours to 30 hours for some of the smaller boats. So that's next Friday. Then we're back on Sunday for more 18-foot action with 2 heats of the state championship, heats 3 and 4. And then on Tuesday, we are back with the Solus Big Boat Challenge on Sydney Harbour for the maxis. And Sail Media again will be bringing that to you on CYC TV. The start is 12:30 p.m. Sydney time, 12:30 afternoon in Sydney. And I think we've got a fleet of about 10 maxis and mini maxis that will be racing. I think most of the big fellas will be out there teaming up before the Hobart race. Palm Beach 11 will not be there. That's the revamped Wild Oats 11. Their modifications will not be ready in time, but the other big boys will be out there. Law Connect, Masterlock, Comanche, Scallywag and Wild Thing will be there. So plenty of action to come.
And the 16-footers on Saturday from Manly.
Okay, well, that's a full...
Pretty busy.
A full card.
Pretty busy 4 days for the Sail Media team. I won't be joining you next weekend. I'm going off to do a bit of sailing myself.
Have you applied for leave, Dol?
I did apply for leave, and Jimmy very kindly granted.
It wasn't granted.
Well, we'll miss you, Dol. Somehow we'll get by without you. But
I'm sure you'll manage just fine, Shimo.
I don't think we've got much left here, only it's a very windy, a choppy harbour. Racing abandoned for the 18-footers. I can see about 4 or 5 skiffs completely upside down or capsized. And it's just getting fresher and fresher and fresher. 25 knots perhaps now. It's going to get even fresher.
No. This is not good.
No. And we just hope the boats get home safely. So, look, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry we couldn't bring you a better coverage of more racing, but it wasn't to be. So we'll say, I think, good afternoon now on behalf of all the team, the Sail Media team, and a very good wishes to our Flying Roos in Dubai tonight for the final of the Sail GP Carnival. Tom Slingsby and all the team over there, we wish you well, and let's hope you can bring it home for Australia. So on behalf of Jimmy Bury and all the team here and Dolly Devola, Peter Shipway saying very good afternoon from a very blustery and windy Sydney Harbour. See you next weekend. Cheerio.